Just as sunflowers chase the sun, inductees into the South Dakota Hall of Fame chase their dreams day after day, year after year. The 700-plus inductees in the Hall of Fame come from all backgrounds and corners of our state. What their stories have in common is their unwavering courage and belief in their dreams. These dream chasers are an inspiration for us all to strive for excellence and believe in our own potential to chase dreams well into the future.
Dr. Robert VanDemark was a compassionate doctor who cared for children with disabilities, was a pioneer in hand surgery, and always a physician hungry for the latest in medical knowledge. He advocated for children with disabilities and for their families to ensure care would be affordable, especially to those in rural South Dakota. Dr. VanDemark was a member of the clinical faculty of the University of South Dakota Medical School for 44 years, as well as the editor of the South Dakota Journal of Medicine for 33 years. His work has left a lasting legacy in the field of medicine in South Dakota.
Hello, I'm Miles Beacom with the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and today I'm with Richard and Bob VanDemark to talk about their father, who was inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame in 1980. And to start with, Richard, Bob, could I have you talk a little bit about your father's childhood and growing up? And it was in Alexandria, South Dakota, if I remember.
You go ahead.
Okay. Well, he was born in 1913. His father was an attorney. And in January of 1916, he was killed in an explosion in their house. So my father lost his father at the age of about 2.5. And and with his younger brother and his mother, they continued to live in Alexandria. Got a lot of support from the extended family, his grandparents, both sets, and his Uncle Guy, who he subsequently joined in practice. But I think that's obviously a big challenge to lose your father at that age. And but he, I think, had kind of a normal childhood that you would have in Alexandria at the time. His mother went back to college and got her degree and then taught school. He eventually got his, I think with a lot of effort, he finished college and then he entered medical school.
So and then where did he go to med school?
He went to the University of South Dakota Medical School for 2 years, and then he went to Northwestern Medical School.
So he came back and partnered with his uncle. And can you share a little bit about how that changed in time? Because when he came back, was he at the specialty hospital? Children's
No. At that time, they had the Sioux Falls Clinic, which was built, it stood at 11th in Minnesota on the southwest corner. And it was built in 1921. And Guy was one of the founders of that. And that's where the locus of their practice was. But Guy had started children's clinics in conjunction with the Department of Health and the Elks Clubs, where they would go out in the country to deal, at that time, primarily various episodes of various waves of polio epidemics, primarily. Mm-hmm. And so my father got involved with that very early. I think he started teaching at the University of South Dakota Medical School at that time,
1947, yeah.
47, yeah. And I don't know, when did he become editor of the South Dakota Journal of Medicine?
Yeah, he did that for probably 25 years, I think.
Yeah, so that was maybe a bit later. But he got very involved in that. And starting the, what was then called the Crippled Children's School and Hospital, really came out of the ward for polio victims primarily at Sioux Valley Hospital. That's really where the idea of a school and hospital really started. And so he was very involved. My father was very involved in that process, fundraising, really designing the programs there. And that didn't, I think that was finished in 1952. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And my father became medical director of that hospital. The other thing that he was involved with, he did a lot of lobbying with the state legislature, getting funding and support for the disabled kids, but also for their families, because it was financially, it was a big burden for these families. And part of the reason you had a sort of a residential hospital and school was primarily a lot of farm families. They just didn't have the ability to adequately care for kids. But that was a big issue for many years, getting funding from the state to provide wheelchairs for the kids and things like that. It was a big deal.
What do you think is the thing that most impresses you with what your father's accomplished?
Go ahead.
I think the biggest legacy is what he's done for the medical school and medical care in South Dakota. I think that's just a large ticket item.
Oh, absolutely. Helping a four-year school. Could you imagine the state not having a four-year medical school today?
Yeah.
And just the need that we have for nurses and doctors as well.
Yeah. I think he'd be very proud of what's going on. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.